All right, and we are live. What's going on, everybody? It is your host, Jason Aiello. Welcome to another episode of the Back of the Class. I'm here with my co-host, John Patterson. This is the third episode of Back of the Class. John, how's your week?
My week's going pretty good. Started school on Monday, finally in person. This is my second year at my school, and the only time I was in person before Monday was August of 2019 for my tour. So nice to be in person. Got to meet some people face to face finally. I like my classes. Everyone's pretty chill, and it's really awesome to be in a school where everyone else that goes there shares your same interests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very good for film school. I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with film school. My experience was definitely not as blissful as the one that you have, but I'll give you the credit for choosing the right school. I think that's a big part of it. Obviously, you're going to a school specifically for film, which obviously helps a lot. Yeah, like the film school that I went to is like totally not like that. Like half the kids didn't even want to be film majors. Um, I will say, have you liked all of your classmates so far?
I have. Yeah,
That's good. That's
I've
good.
even made a couple buddies off it. This guy he had a script that I wrote, and he came to me and asked if he wanted me to be the director of photography for it, and I said yes. So now I have a cinematographer and an editor.
Dude, that's awesome. That is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at my film school, I made no films, went on no sets. I networked with no people. Uh, I did I did watch a lot of silent German films. In
Oh
this
yeah,
big
the
in the
classics right there.
Yeah, just the movies that are like totally relatable to kids today.
Yeah.
Like classics like the 3 hour movie Metropolis. There was another one. I can't remember the name of it. It's about like a German ship. The Germans apparently started all of the artistic stuff in film. Um, Out of all the old films I saw, the only ones that I liked were Charlie Chaplin. Those were probably the
Mhm.
best ones. Have you ever like had those thoughts when you're like at the line at the grocery store and you're just like, I could beat the shit out of this cashier right now. Like right now, I could just fucking snap.
Yeah.
I could give them a punch to the face and just throw their head into the cash register and just make the biggest scene ever. Like right now, I could just take a shit on the floor if I wanted to.
Yep.
But then you're just like, but I'm not going to.
Yep.
Because I am a humanitarian, because I'm a good person who's not crazy. I have those thoughts all the time. Like I'm just like, oh my god, I could, like, especially when people are talking to me and I have to make eye contact for a long time. I'm like, I could just like spit in this person's face right now and
Yeah.
just ruin like this entire moment. But I'm not going to, because I'm not a mental asylum patient.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we got from that tangent from film school to punching people at the grocery store. But I mean, when you get into classes that you really start watching film, I mean, I don't know how it's going to be at your film school, but especially I know that this is probably going to be true when you go to your next school. When you start watching movies like in class, like that's the fun part.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. You're gonna watch probably half the movies you're gonna watch are pretty dumb, but they are significant to the art in some kind of way. Um, there a lot of stuff. A lot of older movies are just really weird. But I'm really glad that you have that. Like you're at a school that seems like is there a good culture there? Like a good environment?
Yes. Very.
Like is there school spirit?
Yeah. I wouldn't. School spirit's probably not the right
Great
word.
term. Yeah. Maybe like school unity is a better term.
Yes.
Unity.
Very
You
good
know,
sense of unity, community.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that man, that just tickles my taint because because I have in my college experience, I have never experienced good community, good school rapport, because the first time when I went to a big public school, you'd think it'd be like that. Everyone fucking hated UNLV. Like no one wanted to be a UNLV student. No one was proud to be a rebel. No one hated the sports teams or actually rooted for them. Like no one actually enjoyed being there. Like people were like, you came from out of state to go here. Like that's what the in-state kids were kind of saying to me. Like no one liked you. Like awful community at UNLV, terrible school spirit. And I actually read a Reddit post about that before I went there, and I didn't want to believe it because I thought it was just one salty guy. And then after about 2 months there, I realized that guy was totally right. So that was my first experience. Fucking horrible community for a school of 30,000 kids. You'd think they'd like being a UNLV rebel more. I thought it was fucking cool. It's dope. You know why we were the rebels? Because it was founded by the people who didn't want to go to the University of Reno. That's why we were the rebels. It's
Really?
it's a cool origin story. I think the problem with that school was that everything else in Las Vegas overshadowed it. It wasn't a college town. The party life was dead. The party life was terrible. You think it'd be a great party school? No, it was terrible party school. A terrible party school if you were an underclassman. If you were above the age of 21, I'm assuming it wasn't like that. But yeah, terrible school spirit at UNLV. And then I went to online Front Range 1 semester. I mean, what kind of community college has school spirit? Like even the best.
It just doesn't exist. I didn't even realize until 2 days ago that my school has a mascot.
Really?
We're the Foxes.
The Colorado Film School Foxes?
Well, because my school's part of the Community College of Aurora, it kind of just got absorbed. So the college as a whole is the Foxes, but I didn't even realize that we had a mascot. I was like, there's spirit stuff at community colleges. I mean, there is, but I don't think anyone supports it.
Yeah, like Front Range. I think we were the Huskies. I have no idea if we were. I seen the mascot. It's literally just like a furry suit. So I was online at Front Range 1 semester, dude. That out of all the schools I went to, I definitely cared about that one the least. And now I'm at Maryville University online, which the in-person school looks like it has good community. The online community is obviously, it's kind of hard to have spirit when you're in the online school. And I'm not sure what our mascot is. I think it's a bulldog. I don't know because we're the Maryville Saints, but our mascot is like Benny the Bulldog or something. But like, I mean, you did a year of online, so you know about like discussion posts and stuff like that. Like, and did you have to do replies and pretend like you cared about someone else's work?
Dude, I did. Okay. There were so many of those where the teacher was like, hey, respond to 3 people's short films.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch it and then just scroll down to what other people replied and then just use a mashup of all of their replies to make it look like my own work. And I just submitted it.
Yeah, that's basically what
If anyone from my school's watching, I didn't do that. That's just for the podcast. I didn't actually do that.
It's just to make John look cooler and make him not look like a nerd who does all his work. But yeah, like I think that's the worst part about the discussions is like, what the fuck am I supposed to say about this? It always starts off. It's like, hi Robert, great post. I really liked the sentence where you did this. Would you do this next time? It's like we're all just trying to graduate. It's like and this is especially true for online school. That's why we're in online school. We're not there to have the college experience. We're there to get the piece of paper.
Yep.
And like just this reply shit is just messing up my workflow. But anyway, a girl who went to this school, she replied to my post, and she actually goes to the school in person. And I found her on Instagram, and it looks like the student life there is actually pretty lit, which makes me feel like I'm missing out, just being confined to my own room. But at the same time, this is the life I chose because I wanted to be more dedicated to YouTube. But speaking of that, my favorite channel and the channel that I've been working on for 5 years got deleted because of a copyright strike. And it wasn't due to a copyright strike from the channel itself. It was due to 3 copyright strikes from an associated channel. So yeah, thanks YouTube. Fuck you, and especially big fuck you to Playboy Cardi and his label. The only artist who would ever take down remixes of his unreleased songs. I never had any other copyright problems with any other artist except for him. So yeah, that was a big, massive L. So thanks a lot, YouTube. Yeah. So I was, and we actually, if you're watching this, then you're actually seeing the second version of this channel because I made Back of the Class under the same email. But moral of the story: don't post remixes of Playboy Cardi songs. And if you're going to make multiple YouTube channels, do them under different emails. So that was extremely disappointing and frustrating, and I feel like I'm starting from square one again. Yeah, so take that, and I went to online school so I could focus on YouTube more, and then the YouTube channel that I cared about the most got deleted because of another YouTube channel. And Rap Remixes had 88 subscribers. So 88 an 88 subscriber channel took out my work of 5 years.
Wow.
Like if someone had told me that was going to what was going to happen to Loki 303, if someone had told me, hey, your channel is going to get deleted because of copyright strikes from this little remix project that you're doing, I wouldn't have even started in the first place. But I guess that's why we try things to live and learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I'm starting from square one, but I'm coming back with a vengeance, YouTube. I'm gonna make you pay, YouTube. And also, the basketball shorts got deleted, so my only video to have 1 million views is also deleted. So also fuck you on that too, YouTube. But hey, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess.
Dude, I'm surprised YouTube hasn't gotten pissed at me for how much copyrighted content I put out.
Dude, as long
Because
as you don't get...
all of my reviews like get copyright claimed. So like I
Mhm.
haven't gotten strikes, a claim,
Yeah.
But like I get so many of them.
As long as you don't get the strikes, totally good. And the strikes is the whoever owns. I mean, you might know this, but like the strike means that like someone from the copyright label, whoever owns the copyright, is going and seeing that video and reporting it. So unless someone, but you shouldn't. I mean, it'd be stupid if someone came after your content. It does fall under fair use completely.
It was I had talked about how great the Winter Soldier's theme was, and I put a bit of it in the video, and I can't remember how much I put in, like 15, 20 seconds, and the Universal Music Group just came and claimed the shit out of that video.
Oh, I
So
see.
once I hit 1,000 and I'm monetized, I'm gonna be like, all right, they're claiming everything. I need to get my shit together because I actually want money.
Are you gonna? Do you have enough watch hours? Or like,
Not yet.
sorry, I mean like as of right now, do you know how many you have?
I just checked. It said 256. So my watch hours right now I think they reflect my subscriber base pretty
Yeah,
well.
dude.
Also, my goal is to hit 200 by the end of the year. I'm at 186 right now, so
Yeah, so
I'm
go
on
sub.
track. I'm on track to go past 200 for the year.
So go sub to the MCU HQ, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out John's work, and also go check out John also,
I mean,
your
you
other channel.
can. That channel's kind of as dead as the Sahara Desert right now because I'm trying to decide if I want to keep using it or just focus completely on MCUHQ.
It's as dead as sex life.
We're keeping that joke in, but you're gonna censor the name. That's true. Yeah, no. So my John Patterson channel, it has 30 subs because I don't really use it. Like every once in a while, I'll do a review, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. But I did put out a video that The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece.
I
The
saw that one.
algorithm really likes that shit. For a 30 subscriber channel, the algorithm is really promoting that. So I'm super tempted to re-download the video, delete it from John Patterson, and move it to MCUHQ.
Dude, I creamed my pants when I saw a 30-minute John Patterson video.
A 31-minute John Patterson video essay where my face isn't in it at all, and it's all clips from the game. I put my soul into that video. The video I've been meaning to make for almost a year had to get delayed to make it. Because I edited that video. I was like, I cannot do another video of this caliber for another several months.
Dude, I was thinking maybe you should just make that channel video game reviews. Like maybe that's what the algorithm is gonna like.
I should. That's not a bad idea. I do have one other channel idea, but I'm gonna get into that when we start asking questions.
Okay. This is the last thing I'll say before we get into questions. YouTube, you took down 3 channels that I loved dearly, but I'm coming back with a vengeance because you know why? First of all, Loki 303 ain't done. Anyone who listens to my music, Loki 303 ain't done. I'm gonna start again in November. I'm taking a 2-month break.
I was about to ask, when's the Loki 303 comeback?
Yeah. I'm taking a 2-month break just to take a step back, mourn the loss of all the videos that I didn't back up. I'm just taking 2 months off, like just to write music. But when I come back, I'm coming in harder than ever. It taught me a lesson that anytime I create a channel, new email. So y'all can't fuck with my work, which is stupid to take away all the channels, ones that didn't even have copyright strikes. No offense, YouTube. I think it's really dumb.
You know what it should be? They should obviously take down the channel that got the strikes.
Yeah.
They shouldn't take down the other ones, but they should flag them just so kind of like the YouTube algorithm keeps a closer eye on those channels, but doesn't actually remove.
Yes, I would have been totally fine with that, YouTube. I get it.
And maybe they even give you, maybe they lessen the amount of strikes. They're like, look, you got 3 copyright strikes on this one. If you get 2 on this one, we're taking it down.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of give you a warning, tighten the parameters, but keep the channel up. Because they will murder your whole career.
And especially if they were to examine this, it's one record label, one artist, one rapper that wanted these videos down. Like, listen, you want to take the channel video down, fine. You want to take the channel down, fine. You want to take all my channels down, I don't know about that. But hey, I'm coming back, YouTube. All right, that was probably one of our best intros. We just fucking walked right. Dude, we knocked that intro out of the park.
Yeah.
And we haven't even got to the questions. All right. Okay.
I am lens flare central right now.
Yeah, you are JJ Abrams type beat, right? This episode is sponsored by JJ Abrams. The man who was too fucking lazy to do anything creative, so he just brought Palpatine back. Thanks, JJ, for ruining episode 9.
The man who has a passion for filmmaking but can't make a good ending. Yeah. JJ's got some good work, though. Like, he's got a pretty good... I will say, like, we give him shit for Rise of Skywalker. He has a good resume. I mean, Force Awakens alone, that's enough to be like, ooh la la, look at that. He did the Star Trek reboot, which I saw it a long time ago, but I've heard it's generally well-liked.
It's good.
He messed up the ending of Lost, but he gave us Lost, so he's got a pretty solid resume. I'm willing to forgive him for the Rise of Skywalker. I haven't seen it since that came out in 2008. I know that because the trailer is attached to Iron Man. Mm-hmm. Because, God, if it's not fucking clear by now, I love Iron Man so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom was a huge Trekkie, so we saw it in theaters. But that's the only time I've seen it was in 2008.
I'm going to ask you a question before we even get into the real questions. First of all, at the theater, are you a snack guy? Like, do you like popcorn or candy?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes both.
Sometimes both. Okay, so what's like your go-to?
All right. Lately I've been going for the Starbursts.
Okay.
I do Starburst. My dad usually gets water cups at theaters, and then I always have to piss halfway through the movie. So Starburst, if I'm really feeling it, if I'm really feeling ballsy, I'll go Starburst and a small popcorn.
Okay.
But the Starbursts usually get me through about half the movie because they're tough to chew, and like 8 Starbursts in, my jaw starts to hurt, so I gotta take them one at a time.
How many Starbursts do you usually come with the thing that you buy?
I mean, it's one of like the zip pouches. Like it's probably like this tall. Yeah, with the zipper.
Okay, you ever had
Yeah.
the mini Starburst?
Yeah, it is the mini Starburst. It's the bag of
Oh,
minis.
oh, I see, I see. And with your popcorn, when you do get popcorn, are you a butter with your popcorn kind of guy?
Sometimes it depends on if I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I'm the same way with that.
Although my friend did tell me the trick is you get a straw and then you run the butter through the straw so it goes into the
Yeah,
popcorn.
I've tried that. I have no idea how effective that actually is.
Me neither.
I guess top five questions science can't answer. Okay, but let's get into the real questions.
All right.
Question number one: You're a grown adult. You have some kids. You got a wife. You have one boy and one girl. What are their names? First, middle, last. Go.
Oh, first, middle, last? Okay. I'm going to do a bit of a cop out for the first one because if I have a daughter, I already know what I want to name her.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be Arya,
Okay.
Arya. There's a story behind this name that I'll tell after I give the full name. As for middle name, the joke I have right now is that her middle name would be whatever my wife wants to name her.
Okay.
So it'd be Arya, whatever Patterson would be her name. So the story behind this is so first, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and Arya Stark is my favorite character,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm always talking about. I'm like, oh my god, Arya's so cool. And then my sister is a track runner, and so there's this one girl you've probably heard her because she's pretty well known, Arya Minor.
I actually haven't.
Okay. Well, she's a really good runner. I'm not sure when she
Okay.
graduated, but she is wicked fast. And so I made a joke at one of the track meets. I was like, man, I should name my daughter Arya because if you're named Arya, I guess you're just destined to be a badass. And it just kind of stuck. And I was like, the name actually has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it's a cool
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
yeah. And it would be spelled Arya because that's my favorite spelling
Is
for it.
that spelled the same way as like Arya Stark?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
And then, so that would be if I had a daughter. If I had a son, I haven't given this any thought.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always says, she's like, what are you going to do if you have a son? And I always say, kill myself. No, I don't. I say I'm going to try again.
Oh yeah, because for the viewers at home, you don't want a son, right? You want
No,
a daughter.
I'm pretty set on that. I want a daughter over a son.
That's a cool take on that because pretty much, like 99% of guys say that they only want boys, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you to John for being probably one of the only guys on earth willing to have a daughter. Yeah, that you don't hear that every day.
Also, I got to plug my sister real quick.
Okay.
So, Monarch High School, she is 0.04 seconds off of the 200-meter record at Monarch.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's very dope.
So she's gonna come and take it next her final her track season before she graduates. She's coming for that record. That's her goal. Just cool tidbit I thought I'd throw in there.
Dude, did I ever tell you about my track career and how I would never stretch properly before any of the meets? So at 3 of the meets, I would tumble or fall across the finish line because I would start cramping up at the end. And I ran the 100 and 200. I was like in the 8th heat, like the worst heat. I would get third or second every time, and I'll never forget. There was one time where I was literally about to get first, and then I started cramping up, and then I limped across the finish line. But anyway, enough about me. So you haven't really thought about a name for your son?
I have not.
If you had to, would you you got anything on the spot or not really?
If I had, do I have anything on the spot? I mean, I always thought the name Zach was cool. Would I name my kid that? Maybe not. But just, I guess, off the top of my head, I like that name.
Maybe it's just because I'm a guy and I know more guys and hang around more guys, but I feel like it's harder to name a son.
It is.
In my opinion, it's way easier to name a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that is a cool name.
If I had 2 girls, it would probably be Evie. Would be the other one.
Evie. Okay.
There's not really any story behind that. I just like that name.
I see. Okay. For me, if I had a son, I'll actually circle back to that because I know the name for the girl. Padme Elizabeth Aiello. Dope ass
All
name.
right, all
Because
right.
because because I wanted to.
I feel you.
Yeah, because like Padme is like a really unique name. It's a royalty name.
Hmm.
So is Elizabeth. I didn't want to put Elizabeth first because I don't want to call my daughter Liz. Like it's so overused, right? But Padme,
Hmm.
I could call her Pad. You know, I
Bad.
heard some of her. I already know the teachers are going to be mispronouncing Padme, but it's whatever.
Yeah,
She'll get over it. When she sees Star Wars, she will appreciate it.
yeah.
And then if I had a son, there's kind of two possibilities. Um, I would probably go. Uh, I might do Alexander, but I've hated all the Alexes that I've ever had in my life, and I wouldn't want to continue that trend. Never had a good experience with an Alex. Um, so honestly, I'd go Jason, but I would spell it with a Y. So I'd go with the other spelling of Jason because
Hmm.
my name is Jason Valentine Aiello, and I honestly kind of want to pass that name down because my great grandpa Val. I don't have a picture of him, but he was a super cool guy, and he looks exactly like me, World War II veteran. Um, and I just think that like you got to continue. Like that is one thing with my wife is that like when it comes to the naming, unless my wife is very creative, I think I'm gonna take care of the naming because like, especially for Valentine, like you gotta pass. If it says boy, you gotta pass down the middle name like that. I'm
Hmm.
fine with the first name not being Jason. Maybe I'll let my actually. I do have the name Orion. Orion Valentine Aiello. Because how often you see Orion and it's a dope name.
Hmm.
Yeah, so those are my picks for the names.
All right.
Um, and yeah, so let's transition into your first question.
All right. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be?
Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna take this part out, but I'm gonna tell it to you because this was something really funny that someone I knew in middle school had this answer when we asked this question to him. He said his superpower would be to make. So like okay, imagine this with like Miss giving a presentation,
Oh
and I
my
just use my
god.
power, and I just like keep like spamming it, and it's all in my mind, so I don't even have to do a hand motion. Like I can just think it. Can you imagine like how much unlimited power you'd have with that ability? Like
Good God.
Miss in the middle of explaining like what liquidation means and
Liquidation.
honestly like I would pick that power because I just think the pure entertainment you could get from it would be hilarious. It would be funny, but not funny. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Note to self: edit that part out. Okay. So what superpower could I have? I think the ability to morph would be very useful.
Okay.
I think it's better than invisibility. Like if you could take on the shape of anything. Sorry. Like a better term for it is shapeshifter. If I could be a shapeshifter, I think that's the power that I would choose.
I would be a villain if I could shapeshift, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because I would just morph into the absolute hottest guy I could.
Hmm.
Just
Oh Lord. Do you want to leave that part in?
it's up to you.
That's a power
Here,
that's
you know
very
what? I'll reword it.
okay.
You can leave this in.
Okay.
I would just shapeshift into the hottest guy possible just to go on dates with girls.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
know
way of using
I
it.
know
Yeah.
that's exactly how it would go.
Yeah. That is shape shifting. Like that's a power that's so easy to abuse, man. So easy to abuse. Because think about this: you could fake being anyone. I could go to the Facebook headquarters, shapeshift into Mark Zuckerberg, and then just be like, "Hi, this is Zuckerberg." I could just walk into the office. Then Mark Zuckerberg sees me. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then I'm just like, "I'm you." bitch, and then
You bitch.
yeah, and then like that. The powers with that are endless. You could manipulate a lot of stuff. I don't know how shape shifting into an object would work, but yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Mm.
All right, let's get into my second question. Is there any okay? If you could, would you go back and change any event in your life? And when I say change, I mean you go back to that period with the knowledge that you have now so you could alter events. Is there any point in your life where you think you would go back to alter your reality today, or are you totally fine with how your life is now? So basically, you go back to that moment with all the things that you know now, which would be a crazy amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
No matter how long ago it was.
I don't think there's anything major I would change.
Okay.
I would change a couple small things, and I will tell you what I would change. First off, I need to pull up Amazon so that way I can get an accurate gauge for the price of this item. So when I couldn't even tell you how old I was at the time. I had seen Revenge of the Fallen, so I was probably 8 or 9.
Okay.
And Devastator, they made a toy Devastator. It came with all 5 Transformers, and you would just put them together to make Devastator. And I wanted Devastator really bad. So for Christmas, my big gift was Devastator. Well, when I grew out of playing with Transformers, I was like, I'm gonna get rid of them, and I decided to sell them all at a garage sale for a couple bucks, including Devastator. Well, Devastator now runs for like $500 on Amazon, and I sold him for 5 at a garage sale.
Yeah.
I would go back. I would hang on to Devastator. Just keep him in a box in my closet for a few more years and get bank off of Devastator.
Hey, shout out to any kids who played with Transformers. Only the smart, cool kids were using Transformers. Those were way better than any other toys of their time.
They were. I had so
Because
many.
you get 2 toys in one. You get two. You get a robot and whatever it transforms into. How
Yeah.
fucking cool is that? Um. So okay, so you would just change small stuff. Okay, I'll tell you one thing that I would change for me, similar to your story. When I was leaving UNLV, this was when COVID was just breaking out. In a panic of having to get rid of a lot of my stuff, I gave away a Supreme Playboy jacket, which is one of the coolest things that I have ever owned. And it's actually the jacket that this is for my people who listen to my music. This is the jacket I'm wearing on the cover of the mixtape Talk to Me Nice. I gave it away for free. I could have resold it for like $1,000, and I could really use that money now. I definitely feel you on that. The answer for me. Wait, what?
I do have a big one. After you do
Okay.
yours, I do have a big one.
Okay, so I will tell you guys, if I could go back and alter my life, I would 100% go back to the start of my freshman year at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I try not to be jaded by the past. You guys heard my little rant at the beginning of this about the spirit of the school. I wouldn't have changed where I'd gone. I think that the school was the right place for me to be. But knowing everything that I know today and how shitty of an experience I had there, I would totally go back and live it up and just have a way better time, focus more in the classroom, budget my money better. That was the big thing. I did not budget my money well at all there. I won't go too into it, but if I could go, even with COVID and everything, I would still go back to that period in my life because my life would be so different if I just did better at UNLV. And then there's, of course, like there's a million little things I could change, but that's the only big life event that I could change. If I could go back with the knowledge I know today, with the knowledge I have today, man, it would be college would look way different for me, even with all this COVID stuff. But hey, life isn't perfect. That's why we're here. And either way, I'm thankful to be where I am today. But if I had to pick, that is what I would pick. But I am satisfied with how my life is now. And then how about you for changing the big thing?
My big one.
Mm-hmm.
So I will keep them anonymous.
Okay.
My sophomore year of high school, There was a girl who I was trying to date, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I should have been trying to date a different girl. Not because the one I was trying was like bad or anything. She is still to this day one of the greatest people I know, but I think the other person is who I should have been trying to go after. And the worst part is that once the first one didn't work out, I tried to go after the second one. It was too late by that point. It was over. I had missed my window.
Dude.
And so, and she went away to college recently. And like the day I said bye to her, I was sitting there, I was like, fuck, I still like this girl in a way.
John,
it's you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I got you, yeah.
Like I'm over it. I've come to terms with it, but inside my mind, I'm like, God damn, I screwed up here.
Dude, I can also empathize with you on that, bro, because I've been through that shit too. When you got two options and you don't know which way to go, and then one doesn't work out, and then you try to go to the other one, and then it fails.
Too late.
Dude,
yeah, like it's
too. Yeah, it's like I guess that's a good lesson for commitment, right? For any viewers out there, pick a path and commit. And going back to my experience at UNLV, that was one of the biggest problems I had there. I didn't commit to anything. I was just floating around on some bullshit. Commit to something. Same thing with girls. If you're a player like me and John, right? If you just get all the pussy in your local capita, you might struggle with this, having too many women attract you. But I think my sound cut out for a second.
Yeah, it did. It's kind of weird now. Like it's a bit
1 second.
Worse sounding.
No, because wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Does it sound worse?
No, it sounds the same. It sounds the same as it did before everything cut out.
Really? Because what I'm using now it's just the built-in mic from the computer. All right. Well, it sounds good. We're sounding good. Okay, we're gonna roll with it, viewers. Okay. So where was I? Okay. Yeah. If you're like me and John and you just get all the pussy in your town, you might not be able to relate to this, but sometimes there's more than one girl that might be gunning for your love or vice versa. You might just be caught in the middle. And I experienced this at the end of my senior year. There's two girls that I was into, one that I really liked, one that I kind of liked. The one that I kind of liked, I knew that I could get any day of the week. I could have dyed my hair purple and gained 100 pounds and started, wearing V-necks, and I still could have got this girl.
V-necks? I don't like V-necks.
Dude, I don't like V-necks either. My brother, that's the only shirt he wears, believe it or not.
My dad likes V-necks. I don't.
And shameless plug, go check out the Dane and Derek podcast. That's my older brother's podcast. And go leave a comment. Just say something related to V-neck.
Tell them that the back of the class is better.
Yeah, tell them that. Yeah, go harass another small podcast and tell them that ours is better. But in all seriousness, if you are going to check out the podcast, be nice. Link in description. So basically, there was one girl that I knew that I could get. I liked her. Not as much as I liked the other girl. The other girl that I really liked was hard to get, man. Just one of those ones where you really got to play your cards right to get. Especially for a short, nice guy like me. I have two qualities that girls usually don't like. So for me to be gunning for a girl like that is like, you really got to play your cards right, because I'm not changing who I am. Like, yeah, I'll be a little less nice, but I'm still going to be me. Basically, they're both good people, by the way. Basically, what happened was that the girl that I really liked did turn me down initially because there was an interest of conflict, because she had dated one of my friends earlier in the year. And she didn't really, which is, in her defense, she didn't really want to, it was kind of a sensitive situation. But I just thought that she didn't like me at all. So I ended up going with the girl who I knew I could get. Then months later, I ended up kind of regretting my relationship with the girl that I knew that I could get. And before I went off to college, I brought this up with the girl that I really liked, and she said, "Oh, I did like you. I was just waiting for you to ask me again."
Oh, why? Why would you do that? That's like that meme where the girl says that she rejected a guy because she wanted him to try harder, but then he wouldn't ask her again.
Yeah, I think it's like that thing of like the other girl was attractive, right? She had used to having guys on her, and I think that like I think she didn't want to bring it up with me again because we had such a good friendship, and she was waiting for me to ask her again. But she said, if you asked me again, I would have been your girlfriend. And it was like, oh fuck, it's like, oh my god, it's like I could have had the girl that I really wanted in the first place, and ay. So, moral of the story, guys, ask twice. Um, but hey, no is still no. No is still no. That we're not saying just forget the consent. And we're not saying harass women. But it is always worth a second ask. But yeah, that's all I got to say for that.
I gotta. It's time for a segment that's definitely not going to be weekly, but I'm going to plug it like it's weekly. It's
Okay.
time for our weekly segment where we talk about shit John's done that he should feel bad about but doesn't. And
Okay.
on this episode, it's asking a girl out and then asking her sister out a year later and getting a no from both of them.
Oh, that's a big L. Big L.
Okay, in my defense, though, the first one was because she was already dating someone.
Okay.
But yeah,
And you were unaware, obviously.
I was unaware, yeah. So
Okay.
not two of my best moments, or I guess a culmination. It's not one of my best moments. I don't feel bad about it. I really should.